Welcome to this week's video. Today we head to the little village of Alethea, which is in the picturesque county of Hertfordshire, a beautiful area within the West Midlands, with stunning views of the English countryside. There, we take a look at a creepy little man named John Taylor, the undertaker who liked his widows a little too much. If you like the video, please give it the thumbs up, as it helps the video grow. Thank you. John and Alethea Taylor seemed to everyone to have the perfect happy marriage. The pair met in 1988 whilst on holiday, after Alethea's first marriage had broken down. John then left his then wife and 2 children to start a new life with Alethea. They were a well-respected couple who lived in the small village of Alethea, near Ludlow in the West Midlands. The village has around 800 residents and is a very community-oriented place, where everyone knew each other and everyone cared for each other. John, 61, was a former chairman and now caretaker of the village hall. He was a hard-working, successful man who ran his own undertaking business. Alethea, 63, worked as a primary school teacher for 30 years, before retiring 7 years ago, now spending her time being a governor for the local village primary school. Alethea had a lot of friends in the village, and was described as a kind, happy woman by those who knew her. The couple were seldomly seen without each other. They were regular churchgoers, and shared a love of singing, both being members of church choirs, including the Birch Pole Singers, and the Little Hereford Voices community choir. Although John still worked, and Alethea spent her time between all her groups, the pair still managed to enjoy luxury holidays and trips to the theatre together. They were a well-off couple who had approximately £250,000 in savings and owned 2 houses outright. They had everything they wanted and were looking forward to spending their golden years together with no financial worries. That was until, on the 19th of January 2012, Alethea just vanished off the face of the earth. Alethea was reported missing by one of her friends, as her husband John was apparently too distraught to call police himself. John said when he arrived home he found the door wide open, with no sign of his wife. West Mercia police placed Alethea as a high-risk missing person due to her age and her mental state, as John had informed them that she was in the early stages of dementia. Also, as it was January, she needed to be located quickly, due to the freezing weather and the rural location. Police started their search immediately, going from door to door, asking neighbors if they had seen her, but nobody had. In addition to the search, police started looking around the couple's home to see if there was anything that would help them figure out where she may have gone. Police found Alethea's handbag in the house. Inside was a notepad containing a diary of hers, which police would take a closer look at. John also gave police his mobile phone, which they would get technical experts to inspect. Early the next day, over 100 village residents turned up to help search the surrounding areas for Alethea. They searched hedgerows, fields and wooded areas, all to no avail. The last time anyone had seen Alethea was at choir practice 2 days earlier, when she had stormed out, stating cryptically, "I can't take this anymore." Police took a closer look at the diary they found in Alethea's handbag. It painted a very different picture than that of the happy doting couple the rest of the village saw. She referred to him as Mr. Nasty, and spoke about him cheating on her with a little widow. She had discovered John had been having an affair. For the 6 months before her disappearance, John had been having a secret relationship with Alison Dearden, a longtime friend and widow from the neighbouring village of Brimfield. He'd conducted the funeral of Ms. Dearden's husband, and started going round to the house to comfort her. I bet he did. The relationship soon became sexual, and they soon declared their love for one another, and started to talk privately of leaving the village to start a new life together. John bought another house for £110,000, and told Alethea that it was an investment, and he was going to do it up then sell it, but in reality it was to be a love nest for him and his mistress. John told his mistress, Alison, that he would leave his wife before Christmas and they would be together, but delays on the house sale meant the sale wasn't completed until December the 23rd, 2011. It meant John would have to spend Christmas with Alethea. This went on into early the next year. Still, John and Alison continued to see each other as much as possible. When police inspected John's phone, in between October and January, John had called Alison 1,200 times, compared to just calling his wife 19, and 166 messages to his mistress, only 2 to his wife. He was unaware, though, that his wife knew of his affair, and told friends that he was concerned about her mental state. On the 24th of November 2011, they were in the local pub, the Blue Bell, when she slammed her drink on the table and stormed out. John would tell people that it was because it was too busy, but in reality, it was because she seen that John was on the phone to his mistress. Just over a month later, they attended a New Year's Eve party together. After the midnight countdown, John and Alethea didn't kiss or celebrate together. John just went outside and messaged his lover. John continued to talk about Alethea's early onset of dementia, although there was no evidence of this, and friends would tell police that she was of sound mind. He tried to make out his wife's mind was unraveling, when in fact her behavior could be explained by his cheating ways. Meanwhile, police had conducted searches of the Taylor home and the family car. In the house, they found blood on the side of Alethea's bed, which was sent away for forensic testing. They also found blood in the car, but with John using the car to carry bodies for his funeral business, it could be anyone's blood. Both samples were sent away for further testing. There were 29 potential sightings of Alethea, of which all were followed up and led to nothing. Her bank account and credit cards remained untouched, and all of her cherished and sentimental possessions were still left in her home, things like a bracelet given to her by her father, that she would go nowhere without. Even though police thought John knew more than he was letting on, there was nothing they could do without a body. They had to gather more evidence. The community continued their relentless search of the area, and police stepped up their campaign by putting John under surveillance. The forensic results from the bedroom and the car eventually came back, and both were a match for being Alethea's blood. John was once again brought in for questioning. During his interrogation, John claimed the blood in the bedroom and in the car was from a nosebleed that Alethea had a few days before her disappearance. Although, on the day of the nosebleed, the couple were at a meeting at the village hall, and there was no mention of it to anyone there. And people who knew Alethea said there is no way she would have gone to bed for 2 nights with blood-stained sheets, as she was spotlessly clean. Police continued following John, and the week after he reported Alethea missing, he invited Alison round to his house, the first time she had ever been there, a sign, detectives say, that he was very confident that his wife wouldn't be coming home. They were spotted walking together, laughing and joking. Calendar entries relating to Alethea were scribbled out, and new ones which concerned Alison were added. John also sold his wife's car and took her off the insurance for his BMW, adding Alison onto it in her place. He moved all of Alethea's personal items into the loft, telling police that he was decorating, but police took the view that he just wanted her out of sight and mind. The lack of a body and no clear evidence made it a hard case to investigate, but on the 15th of June, detectives thought they had enough circumstantial evidence and charged John with Alethea's murder. He was remanded in custody without bail until his trial started 8 months later. The trial began on the 20th of February 2013 at Worcester Crown Court. John pleaded not guilty to his wife's murder and stuck to his original story that Alethea had just walked out of the house and disappeared. The prosecution told how John was unhappy in his marriage and longed to be with his new mistress, and how he would make that happen at any cost. They also told how he said to police that he tried to ring his wife several times when she went missing, but cell phone analysis showed that he rang her just once and let it ring for only 8 seconds. The court also heard that John was spreading a rumor that his wife was in some way losing her mind, due to the onset of dementia. This, prosecutors said, would make Alethea's disappearance more plausible. But in a written testimony, Mrs. Taylor's GP, Richard Dales, told the court she had no history of mental health problems. The court heard she suffered only one episode related to mental health, when she complained of work stress as a primary school teacher in 2001. Alethea had also booked hair appointments, theatre tickets, and planned village hall meetings for the weeks following her disappearance, which the prosecution say shows she wasn't planning on leaving. The prosecution then put forward the alleged motive, which was his affair with Alison Dearden, and how the pair had planned to start a new life together. But there was only one thing in their way: Alethea. Finally, the diary that police found in Alethea's handbag was read out to the jury, which some of the pages read. "I'm not sure how to cope, the two-sided face of someone. I cannot believe how he spoke to me last night, I'm glad I told him. He seems a little besotted by a certain widow at the moment. Wow, had a good week until today." Lunchtime, Mr. Nasty reappeared. The trial lasted a month, and John showed no emotion as the jury of 5 men and 7 women found him guilty of murdering his wife.
Alethea Taylor, an active and popular member of a close-knit community, seen here performing with her local choir. Her husband John, an undertaker, was also a member, but he was besotted with another woman and would go on to kill his wife.
Oh, she was a lovely lady. Always seemed to be smiling, happy. She's just greatly missed. I can speak for all the villagers, they'll all say the same.
In January last year, those villagers joined together in a desperate search around the village of Alton. Alethea, a retired teacher, had mysteriously vanished.
I'm not going to stop whatsoever. We will keep going and keep going and keep going.
But it was a search that would prove fruitless. Alethea Taylor has never been found.
When it was so difficult to find Alethea and there was just no trace at all, and the police have been questioning and asking about John as much as Alethea, and so I think maybe the villagers sort of come to terms with the fact that John might have been guilty of her murder.
Other people who I've spoken to here in Alton who were close to John Taylor have described him as a respected member of the local community. For example, he would give up his free time to help out here at the village hall. Despite no body being found, the police charged John Taylor with murder. His motive, an affair with widow Alison Dearden, who lived in a neighbouring village. Before Alethea disappeared, Taylor had made it known in Alton that his wife was suffering from dementia. Detectives say this was a ruse to make her disappearance more plausible. Bloodstains were found on a duvet at the couple's home and in Taylor's car. Taylor tried to explain them away by claiming his wife had been suffering heavy nosebleeds. Whether Alethea's body is ever found or not, her disappearance from this community will leave a gaping hole for many years to come.
Sending him to jail for life, with a minimum term of 17 years, Judge Julian Flows told him, "Since her body has never been found, it is known only by you what became of her. The jury has rejected your defense that you were not responsible. You clearly perceived her as an obstacle to happiness with Alison. She had discovered the affair as her notebooks had shown, and you were scared she might reveal it. You attacked her in the bedroom, then smothered her with a pillow. You then drove her body away in your car. Alethea's body has never been found, but in 2019, Helen's Law was passed in the UK. It was named after insurance clerk Helen McCourt, who vanished in 1988, on her way home from work. Her killer, Ian Sims, has never revealed where he hid her body. The passing of Helen's Law means people convicted of murder must reveal where they have hidden the body before they are considered for parole. Which means, no body, no parole. So as long as John keeps to himself where he's hidden the body, he will never be released. Alethea sounded like such a kind person, who gave a lot to her community. It's such a shame she ended up with a piece of shit like John. I guess you never truly know someone. I wonder where his mistress is now. I bet she doesn't even visit him. It serves him right. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, as it helps my channel grow. Also consider subscribing to see more videos like this. Take care, I'll see you in the next video.